Today we're going to show you how to install a samurai sword. Just kidding, it's a strut brace. Sorry. Hey, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Today, we're going to show you how to install a very, very simple mod, the strut brace. Now, this specific strut brace is going to work on F30s and F32s, and as you'll see in a minute, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to install. Now, at KiesMotorsports.com, we have 3 different versions of the strut brace. We have the aluminum, which this one is. We have one in steel, which is kind of heavy, and then we also have a super light carbon fiber one. Now, I went with the aluminum, and if you look at this, you may notice that it doesn't look like it's in brand new condition. Well, that's because we didn't want to just throw it on the car and make a video. We wanted to actually test it for a couple months to really see if we felt any kind of difference or if it was just some underhood bling that didn't really do anything. Well, to our surprise, when we first put it on, we noticed that the car handled really well. One of the biggest complaints about the F30 and the F32 is the super loose steering. And well, this isn't gonna be a miracle and turn it into an F80 overnight, but this does help tighten things up and it helps with body roll. Now for me, after having it installed for a little while, I kind of got used to it and I honestly kind of forgot about it. But when Zach and I decided that we were going to finally make a video on it, I took it off the car. And that day I drove home and I felt like there was just something wrong with the car. The car just felt really loose, it felt really sloppy, and I'm like, what the heck is wrong with this car? All we did was take off that strut brace. And that is really when we noticed the huge change. After I got used to driving with it, I took it off and I was like, man, we have to get this thing back on. So today, we're gonna show you how to install it. And it's my personal opinion, but I think this belongs on every F30 and F32 out there. Now, installing the strut brace is incredibly simple and you only need a couple tools. You're going to need a 13mm socket with a ratchet wrench and also a torque wrench. You're going to need a 17mm Allen key and then a 17mm open-ended wrench. Now, the first part of the process, grab that 13mm and you're going to remove this bolt here, then remove this bolt, then do the same to the other side. Now with everything prepped, we are ready to install the strut brace. Now you can see mine is already tightened up. If yours isn't tightened up yet, what you want to do is just take a 17mm and you want to loosen this nut right here. Then what I'd recommend doing is doing some test fitting, making sure that everything is evenly spaced on this side and also on this side as much as possible. And then save tightening this nut and bolt right here until everything is officially torqued down. That way everything's gonna be exactly where you need it. See, right now I have all of the angles, don't really wanna mess that up. So let's bolt it up and torque it down. So if you look over here, you'll see that on mine's a pre-LCI, that there's a spot for a bolt here, there's a spot for a bolt here, and there's a spot for a bolt here. If you have an LCI, you're probably gonna have a bolt right there as well. And then there's this little cutout for this little nub thing, and that's just to make sure that everything is aligned correctly. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take those 13mm bolts, we're gonna hand thread them in, and then they get torqued down to 30 Newton meters. Then once you've torqued it down, you rotate it an extra 90 degrees. But before we do that, we're gonna make sure that everything is hand threaded in first. Okay, so we have our torque wrench set to 30 Newton meters. And then once you've done that, what you can do, just go 90 degrees. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go there, and then 90 degrees. Okay. Perfect. Now, if you haven't done so already, be sure to make sure that the 17mm is snugged up on both sides. And then what you can do is you can also tighten this bolt, make sure everything is set in place. So with that, the installation is complete. As you saw, it took about 5 minutes or so. It is a super fast installation. It looks great, it performs great, and best of yet, it's very affordable. So if you're interested in one, we're gonna have some links down in the description for you. So Zach and I have been driving for a couple minutes, and it's amazing, trying to not make Zach sick here. It's amazing already how much that strut brace really tightens up the car. Now in the F80, it's got that huge strut brace. It's got this huge piece of aluminum for the top, and then it has the carbon strut brace. Where with this, even just that little brace, it's such a great improvement. Spoiler alert, we have the one for the rear. So we're gonna be doing that one. I'm very curious to see if that one makes as much as an improvement as this one. Now, one thing that I forgot to note when we were doing the actual installation is if you need to work on your car, all you need to do is take out the Allen bolt where it's held in with that 17mm nut, and then you can take the whole center piece off. So that way you're not actually unscrewing it from the strut tower each time. So makes it super easy to get off, literally just 2 bolts and you can take the entire thing off. But this is one of those mods where it's very difficult. You can't just like put the car in a dyno and say, hey, we got 10 extra horsepower. But once you drive with it, you'll notice immediately. It is such a great modification. The steering just feels more responsive. And especially when I go from the F80 to this, it makes it less drastic because the steering in this car is just so much lighter. But still, I love this car, and we're still doing a lot of mods to it. And we actually have some more mods that hopefully will tighten up the steering even more. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Once again, this is Brian. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.